Students, welcome to the subject. Our subject name is Constitution of India. Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. Every responsible citizen of the India must know the Constitution of India and the basics, historical background and the amendments in the Constitution of India. So by keeping this in mind, we have framed this particular subject for you. So let us discuss the first unit. First unit is all about the introduction to the Constitution of India. In that, first of all, we are going to discuss about the historical background. Historical background is again divided into three parts. So let us discuss the first part. These are the certain contents that we are going to cover under this particular discussion. Historical background, Simon Commission, Government of India Act of 1935. So let us quick look out about the historical background. The British came to the India in 1600 as a trader. In the form of East India Company, which had the exclusive right of trading in India under the charter granted by the Queen Elizabeth I in 1765, the company, which till now had purely trading function, obtained the Diwani, that is right over revenue and civil justice of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. This started its career as a territorial power. In 1858, in the wake of the Sepoy Mutiny, the British Crown assumed direct responsibility for the government of India. So they have started thinking like they have a responsibility of India. This rule continued until the India was granted independence on the 15th August 1947. With the independence came the need of the constitution as suggested by M.N. Roy, a pioneer of communist movement in India in 1934. A constituent assembly was formed for this purpose in 1946, and on January 26, 1950, the constitution came into being. However, various features of the Indian constitution and polity have their roots in the British rule. So it has started somewhere in the British rule only. There are certain events in the British rule that laid down the legal framework for organization and functioning of the government and administration in the British India. So whatever frame structure or the organization and the functioning of the government is existing now, somewhere the framework or this legal framework is laid in the time of British period. These events have greatly influenced our constitution and polity. Simon Commission and Government of India Act were the key events. So let us discuss what is the Simon Commission and what are the Government of India Act 1935. In November 1927 itself, that is 2 years before the schedule, the British government announced the appointment of 7-member statutory commission under the chairmanship of John Simon to report on the condition of the India under its new constitution. All the members of the commission were British, and hence all the parties boycotted the commission. So whatever commission they have formed, all the members in that particular commission were the British. So that's why all the parties in the India has boycotted the commission. The commission submitted its report in 1930. So it is started in 1927 and they have submitted their report in 1930 and recommended the abolition of Dirachi, extension of responsible government in the provinces, establishment of Federation of British India and the princely states, continuation of communal elaborate and so on. To consider the proposal of commission, the British government convened 3 round-table conferences of representative of British government, British India and Indian princely states. On the basis of these discussions, a white paper on the constitutional reform was prepared and submitted for the consideration of the Joint Select Committee of the British Parliament. The recommendation of this committee were incorporated in the next Government of Indian Act 1935. So the whatever commission or the committee, joint committee submitted the report, according to that, after incorporating all the recommendations and all, in 1935, in the form of Government of India Act, it has been modified and proposed. There are different communal awards. In August 1932, Ramsay MacDonald and British Prime Minister announced a scheme of representation of minorities, which came to know as a communal award. The award not only continued separate electorate for the Muslims, Sikhs, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and Europeans, but also extended it to the depressed classes, that is scheduled castes. Gandhiji was distressed over this extension of the principle of communal representation to the depressed classes and undertook fast unto death in Yeroda jail, Pune, to get the award modified. So the Gandhiji was against this distress. So as this distress may leads to the communal differences and all, so because of that, they have kept the fast in Yeroda jail to get this award modified. At last, there was an agreement between the leaders of the Congress and the depressed classes. The agreement, known as Pune Act, retained the Hindu joint electorate and gave reserved seat to the depressed classes. So these are the communal awards that are proposed. And after all the recommendations, or after incorporating all the recommendations, the Government of India Act 1935 came into existence. The Act marked a second milestone towards a completely responsible government in India. It was a lengthy and detailed document having 321 sections and 10 schedules. There are certain features of the Government of India Act 1935. So let us check out what are the different features. The first feature is about it provided for the establishment of an All India Federation consisting of provinces and princely states as a unit. The Act divided the power between the centers and units in terms of 3 list federal list for center with 59 atoms, provincial list for provinces with 54 items, and the concurrent list for both with 36 items. Residuary power were given to the Viceroy. However, the federation never came into being as the princely states did not join it. So it is only for the princely states, and as princely states didn't join this particular act, so this federation never came into existence. It abolished diarchy in the provinces and introduced provincial autonomy in its place. The provinces were allowed to act as an autonomous unit of administration in their defined spheres. Moreover, the Act introduced responsible government in the provinces. That is, the governor was required to act with the advice of minister responsible to the provincial legislature. This came into effect in 1937 and was discontinued in 1939. It provided for the adoption of diarchy at the center. Consequently, the federal subjects were divided into the reserved object and transferred subject. However, this provision of Act did not came into operation at all. Then the fourth feature is it introduced the bicameralism in 6 out of 11 provinces. Thus, the legislature of Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Bihar, Assam, and the United Provinces were made bicameral, consisting of legislative council, that is upper house, and the legislative assembly, that is lower house. However, many restrictions were placed on them. It further extended the principle of communal representation by providing a separate electorate for the depressed classes, that is scheduled caste, women, and labor, that is worker. It abolished the Council of India, established by the Government of India Act of 1858. The Secretary of the State for India was provided with the team of advisors. Extended franchise, about 10% of the total population got the voting right. It provided for the establishment of the Reserve Bank of India to control the currency and of the country. Provided for the establishment for not only a Federal Public Service Commission but also the provincial Public Service Commission and Joint Public Service Commission for 2 or more provinces. It provided for the establishment of federal courts, which was set up in 1937. So these are certain features of the Government of India Act 1937. So in this video, we discussed the background of the Constitution of India, how Simon Commission plays a major role, and how they have recommended certain incorporations for the better framing of the Government of India Act 1937, and we have discussed the various features coming under the Government of India Act 1937. Thank you for watching.